See it?
Yeah.
It's bubbling up in there. He's deciding whether he's going to do it. D, please make the right decision. Thank you. It's very kind of you to make the right decision. It don't need a bark. It don't need a bark.
I'm done with this. I'll feed him when I go get her coffee too.
Oh, he hadn't even groused at me for it. He's weird about it sometimes.
It hasn't quite stuck into his head that it's a thing he does now.
Yeah. He gets a little breakfast. He gets a little breakfast.
It hasn't helped much. I feel like he's just as fussy for dinner.
He's a fuss budget for sure. So yeah, trying to just wake up my brain and voice for the fucking long ass Skibbity Rizzler gauntlet tonight. Extra long too, because TJ fucked up the last gauntlet.
Moved things along too quickly.
Yep, TJ moved things along to the end a little too quickly. It's about to crash. I'm about to crash out at work watching the damn gauntlet tonight. Oh, cool. Yeah, be careful. Don't actually crash anything at work. But yeah, I get what you mean. You're not saying crash. You're saying crash out like you kids do. I see what you're doing. So I have a tactic. I don't know if it's an advisable tactic. I think it probably isn't, but I'm hoping. I've been obsessed with one concept since the Boogie Gauntlet, and that's dew dipping. And I feel like every time I start to feel despair, I'm going to dew dip something. And I'm hoping that the sugar / carbs rush plus the caffeine of the dew will jolt me back into awareness. So I've been obsessed with the idea of dew dipping as a way to inoculate yourself against Skibbity Rizzler stuff. And so it's gonna be that and weed, obviously weed. I mean, come on, weed's a part of my general strategy, okay, for life. Let alone, gauntlet stuff. But that's the idea. That's the idea. I'm gonna dew dip. I'm gonna get an assortment of snack items that are dew dippable, and we're gonna dew dip. That's just how it's gonna go tonight. We'll watch plenty of Skibbity Toilet. I don't know that because it's like 2 hours to watch the whole thing. If there's no pauses, and you know us, we love us a pause. Don't dew dip the weed. What if I dew dipped the weed and then let it dry out? Would that give a hit of dew to the weed? Isn't what illegal? Smoking a perfectly normal hand-rolled cigarette of tobacco? Jesus? Yes, my son. You gotta learn this. This is that thing that like this is that hand thing that Jesus always has when or like somebody important is talking. in like a medieval portrait, that's the hand move right there. One finger a little lower than the other. See what I mean? Do you love Jesus? Baphomet does the same pose. Yeah. Six, six, six. The number of the beast. Hell and fire are going down tonight. You look interesting at AF. If we were near, I'd probably chill out with you a couple days a week. Couple days a week? That's like a whole ass relationship, bro. You don't know me very well. I don't got a couple days a week in me. I don't got a couple days a month in me. All right? You feel me? Do you love Biden? Do you love Jesus? Do you love? Why are you talking to me like a toddler? Like, why are chatters doing that? Do you love this? Do you love birdies? Do you love birdies? Yeah, I'm a lefty, but I don't like Biden. Didn't vote for Biden. Shat on Biden every chance I got, and will continue to. Hi, nice to meet you. ¿Qué te pasó? Paul didn't even answer the question. He immediately went lefty. He can't reason with it. I mean, you gotta understand, man. This is a contentious time we live in. People have been convinced that other people's political leanings are the big problem. That your neighbor's politics are more important than your neighbor, right? Like everybody believes that now. And, you gotta be willing to fucking have these people bounce off of your message and bounce off of your content and bounce off of your attempt to talk to them and stuff. Because people aren't wired that way anymore. We're not wired like people are supposed to be wired. We kind of set aside these things that we disagree about and work for the common interest. That common interest has died. And what killed it? It's adversarial politics, I guess. This idea that, one side is the great, evil, and the other side is the only thing that can save it. And, no matter where you line up on the political spectrum, you believe one of the two. You know what I mean? I don't think it's pointless to talk to people. I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Nikki, for the insight. It's not people, it's structure and systems. I mean, structure and systems of people, right? It's people. What do you think the best ways to engage with your community and bring people together? Pull out your dick, waggle it. Nothing brings a community together like that. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not a great community builder. I'm a little bit spiky to build a community, you know what I mean? That's how I put it. Coffee is so good, tasty. Oh, man. I heart coffee. I would disagree. You know, a great large community builder, but I rather like the small community. Well, I think I have a small community despite my nature. I really do. You know what I mean? I do not think that I am, and this is just me being, I'm not being down on myself about this. You are who you are, right? This is just me being introspective and trying to see, like, how do I fit? And the truth of the matter is I'm a bit of a relic, dude. Like, my impulse, the way I was raised, the people I was raised around, my impulse politically is to allow that human emotion to charge my convictions and my words, right? And that is the opposite of what people want. You know what I mean? And so I think when it comes to building a community, I'm just a little bit too pushy, a little bit, you know, too quick to snap at people. But that's just who I am, man. I've been that way since I was like a wee little lad. And I don't see it changing. You know what I mean? But I know that about myself. You know what I think of myself, bro? And this is the honest to goodness truth. You want to know how I think of myself? I'm like a rabble rouser, right? I'm good in that instance. If somebody were to throw me a fucking bullhorn at a strike line or something, I'd be a great guy to just sit there and let the emotion drive those people forward with my words, right? That's where I think I do best. And I don't know that there's a place for that particular kind of person in modern content creating. I mean, obviously there's a place, here I am, but that's how I think of myself, if anything. I think of myself as a rabble rouser and a dissident. Like, that is my political leanings, if anything. I'm a political dissident. I do not believe that the options foisted upon us by the modern political system are either agreeable, right? I'm a natural dissident. I've watched Democrats administration and Republican administrations destroy this world over my brief life. You know what I mean? And I just don't support the motherfuckers. I just don't. And I don't want the people to support the motherfuckers because I think it funnels what is ultimately a power that we have, the ballot box, into just oppressive, crony capitalist, world destroying nonsense. So, you know, it'd be, I would love to tell people, like, you can miss me trying to recruit me. Like, you may as well just save your words. If you're going to try and sell me the same old half-baked cookie dough that is the lesser of two evils argument while the world is burning, you and I don't have anything to talk about politically or otherwise, honestly. Like, if that's your main idea, and then you can fucking forget me showing remorse about my convictions. Just not going to happen either. Like, I just wish people would get that through their heads. Like, my political convictions are as they stand. You can engage with it, or you can choose not to. But you're never going to convince me otherwise. My lived experience, my political history is way stronger than any argument that you could possibly come up with. Oh, I already.
You
I
didn't get it.
I just forgot that we had the. I'm sorry, baby. There's a little one over there. Good boy, D. Not joining the fray. You don't need to join the fray.
Why the top of your head so itchy, D?
Got itch on the top. I don't either. It's kind of humorous to watch the Dems sit by while Trump dismantles things left and right. They want it. Of course they want it. I mean, they fundraise off of it. And ultimately, the tax cuts that Trump just fucking revealed and everything, like, all of that is going to benefit them and their crony capitalist buddies. And what impetus do they have to give up some of that for the betterment of us? To give up some of that so that wages can be higher, to give up some of that so that food can be cheaper, to give up some of that so that healthcare can be a right, like it is in every other goddamn Western country. Oh, saw a little squirrel. You're not gonna go after him, D? He's right up there. He didn't go far. He's teasing you. He didn't go far. He's right up there at the top of them steps, just being squirrely. He got a big bushy tail, and I don't think he cares nothing about you. What you think about that? Yeah. Squirrel's just trolling Dinor a little bit. It's like, while I'm here, I think I'll poop. Do squirrels make good trolls? I mean, yeah, they're pretty good trolls. Because they're just so nimble that, like, you really got to be like a hawk or something to catch them. You know, you really got to catch a squirrel slipping because they're wild, man. Could be up a tree in a minute. Oh. You see another squirrely? Dinor's on a roam. Brain Rot Gauntlet today is going to be a slog. I mean, you can look at it from that perspective, or you can not be such a little bitch about it, and you can look at it from the perspective that it's going to be fun, vibrant. We're going to take a look at the humor of the youth. You know, the humor of the youth.
Might even be nostalgic for some of you folks.
Yeah, it might be. You know, people don't understand. Sometimes the gauntlets end up being easier than you think. I don't necessarily think this is going to be one of those, but it might be.
TJ thinks he's going to melt into the brain rot and just become one with it, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think TJ is going to try and, like, open up that part of his brain that just goes, like, slack-jawed and just kind of, like, accepts whatever visual and audio stimulus is coming in. We'll see. What do you think, D? You still on squirrely patrol?
Do you have anyone territory.
Sniffing it. I think Scotty is going to bristle at it. Scotty bristles at most things. So you're probably right about that. Scotty's a bristly guy. He's got bristles. He's got bristles for sure. Yeah. I'm going to do pizza and various do-dippable snacks, and that's how I'm hoping that'll fucking carry me. I really don't know how else I might do it. Because I will tell you, it does. Yeah, I get into that kind of like slack-jawed area for just a few minutes, and then I'm angered by it, you know? You go the long way, D. So don't judge me. What are my reasons?
He's doing all the stairs. And he does twice as many stairs as we do because he's got 4 legs.
Yeah. I wish I could do pizza, but I'm saving my pizza crust for tomorrow. But fuck that. You got a pizza crust ready? Load that motherfucker up. It's the gauntlet, bitch. Put some toppings on that thing. Get it steamy and get you some fresh dew so you can dew dip it. It's the gauntlet. Butter chicken or jerk chicken tonight? I've never really I've had jerk chicken before, and it's really good. I like that, like, blackened, spicy, kind of like super flavorful sauce on it. You know what I mean? It's like just marinated deep in that chicken. I don't know nothing about no butter chicken. I know it's an Indian dish, but I don't think I've ever ordered it or had it. So my vote is jerk. Go with the Caribbean option. You like Little Caesars? No. I can't even remember the last time I had a Little Caesars pizza. Or was offered a slice of one, even. You know what I mean? At a get-together or something. Like, Little Caesars just may as well not exist, to me. Like, I think if Little Caesars disappeared off the planet, I would probably be one of the last people to notice, because I don't go looking for a Little Caesars. From where I sit, Little Caesars has always been kind of shit tier pizza. And I'm not a snob either, dude. I'm not above ordering a fucking chain pizza, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I'm really not. But I have a little bit of a standard, bro. And Little Caesars is just not going to meet that standard.
You've had one before that you were like, hey.
Maybe. I don't know.
We visited my mom that one time.
When?
Little Caesars. When we got sick after that time we visited.
So I got sick after I ate Little Caesars?
Well, not right.
So it was the Little Caesars that gave me the sickness, is what you're saying. I don't remember us having Little Caesars. You got a mind for those things, but that was years ago that I had a Little Caesars. But yeah. Little Caesars is the one pizza that's gross when it's cold. It's cheap for a reason. I don't know that I've ever had cold Little Caesars, so I couldn't tell you, man. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I feel like with chain pizza, the top of the heap is a round table. But I don't know if that's just a Western thing. I don't know if that's like a national chain, but dude, if you got a round table, that's always going to be your best bet for a pizza in the area, probably, if you're going to go chain pizzas.
What do you want on your do-dippable pizza?
Let's just get our old kind of like mushroom and olive joint.
Okay.
I think that sounds good.
I'm just gonna pick it up at Papa Murphy's while I'm out. I'm just gonna order it now and then grab it on the way.
Sick. You're the best, babe.
Love you.
I love you. There was a pizza joint that the guys tried to get me into back when they lived in Ohio and I was staying there for a while, called Mellow Mushroom. Bro, that pizza is whack. Mellow Mushroom pizza. Every time I got it, I was just like, man, I wish this was not shitty. Or I wish they like this was just more simple and honest pizza and it wasn't like loaded with criminy mushrooms and bullshit. I wanted to like that place because I was like, oh, Mellow Mushroom. It's like a hippie joint. Cool. Maybe their pizza is actually good stoner eats. And I was just like, meh. How do people even like mushrooms on pizza? Dude, I love a mushroom on pretty much anything, bro. I'm just a mushroom fan. Fell in love with Mellow Mushroom the first time you had it, but I was shit-faced drunk, so that helped. Yeah, I feel like if I was drunk, maybe I would have established some sort of connection with it, you know. But it missed me. It really did. I was not a fan of the Mellow Mushroom. I'd rather not with the Mellow Mushroom, you know what I mean? You like mustard on a pizza? That's fucking crazy, bro. Fuck with spicy Italian sausage. Nah. Well, I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna like turn my nose up at it, but it's never something I'm adding myself. Second time I had Mellow Mushroom, I wasn't drunk and I was disappointed because it didn't hit the same. I mean, when you're drunk, that fucking greasy hit is what is all you need, and it definitely had that. It was a greaseball pizza. That was kind of the problem I had with it. But when you're drunk, you want that fucking heavy, oily, greasy hit. And I can see why that probably hit good when you were drunk. Because I feel like that's the ticket, man. You want that deep fried, oily, buttery, fatty, cheesy hit when you're drunk, for sure. Do you find different drinks give you different drunk cravings? I gotta be honest with you, man. My craving to be drunk has diminished almost to zero. So no, not really. I probably would have answered that question way differently, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But I just don't drink, man. I just, like, very rarely I'll crack a few beers and tie one on. Like, very fucking rarely. I mean, like, I meant like when you drink, do different drinks make you want different foods? Oh, okay. Nah, man, I feel like, well, maybe. You know what? That's an actual interesting question. The last time I had a few drinks, it was a couple of weeks ago. Amelia and I, or like last week, I think it was, Amelia and I went out and I had a couple of drinks at a little pub we went to. And I feel like I guess it was just like I was craving like saltiness because the drink I was getting was sweet. So maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting question. Like I said, I think I would have been more equipped to answer it back when I was a heavier drinker. I can be your father figure. Put your little hand in mine. I can be your preacher, teacher, till the end of time. Buffalo chicken pizza is my top tier standard pizza. See, I don't know why people, that's not a pizza, bro. That's not a pizza. A pizza is red sauce, cheese, and crust. All right? You're talking about a whole ass buffalo fucking vinegar dressing on the top of it. Just ain't the same thing, bro. It's not a pizza. You're one of those, like, you're the reason why these places have that whack shit. Like, instead of a normal pizza, you get a barbecue pizza. You're the reason why that shit takes up menu space for the rest of us normal people. Like, I want a pizza, but not a pizza at all. It's like, what kind of fucking craving even is that? And well, the more they deviate, here, and this is just the truth, the more you deviate from crust, sauce, cheese, the less appealing your pizza is. Like, the more that you deviate from that base, now you can throw a topping on there, right? I'm not saying no toppings. I'm just saying the farther you deviate from tomato sauce, crust, and cheese, the worse your pizza gets. So something like a buffalo chicken pizza is a hideous prospect to me because it's not a pizza. You're getting buffalo vinegar sauce draped all over a soggy ass crust that's going to taste like vinegar sauce. It's just, why don't you just drink a bottle of fucking vinegar? Save yourself the money. Yep. Same feelings about barbecue pizza. Look, dude, I'm not hating on, but you know what? Where buffalo hits for me? A good buffalo chicken tender. A good, reasonably high quality buffalo chicken tender slaps all over the place. It's crazy good. But outside of that, dude, you're not even really gonna catch me doing buffalo anything. The frozen tendies have gone mid. I haven't had them in years, but I believe you. I can't believe that the tendies are bad. Dude, you guys know a tragedy that, because I assume most of you are probably younger than me. A lot of you never even knew. Burger King, slop house that it is, used to have the king chicken tender. We're talking back in the late 80s, early 90s kind of era of BK. Their chicken tender was wild. Wild. Now they suck. But the tendies were wild back then. You've been cheated. Because the tendies were wild. Is this little yipper? What's that little yipper? He's so mad. What are you mad about, dude? Can you translate? What's that little fella so mad about? You don't know? Sounds like a new puppy. It's either a puppy or just a little, like, Pomeranian or something. If I know my yapper, they want back in. Yeah, you might be right. That does sound like a let me back in. I haven't had a little yapper in a long time. But you're right. That does sound like a I'm trying to get your attention bark. Please let me in bark. You're probably right. It's always the tiny dogs who never, I don't know, dude. There are big dogs that will just bark all day too. It's just a dog thing. It's an impulse with dogs. I thought you were going to be a little yapper, D. Come on. You can do it. I thought you were going to be a little yapper, but you turned out to be a giant moose. What do you think? You're so pretty. Somebody loves you so much because you're just so pretty. You're too pretty. Too soft. Oh, see? That's the big one now. Now the big one's talking again. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. D, don't start. Don't get ballsy. Don't get ballsy. I'll let you in. What a goof. Oh, what a goofy animal. Deep for his size, yeah. It says hound genetics, man. All the hound concentrated right here in Dynor. And he got that, our neighbors thought he was a way bigger dog than he is. just because it's not necessarily deep pitch, but it's loud and sustained. You can just tell. Ever get a pimple on your earlobe? If I have, I don't remember it. You get along well with your neighbors? Yeah, to the extent that I know them, yeah. I typically don't have a bad like rapport with my neighbors. I try and be an open guy if there's, you know, I keep to myself. And so it's like if there's anything I'm doing that's bothering them, I would expect that, you know, we have a rapport enough to where they would come and tell me, and vice versa. You know what I mean? But I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I don't require much neighborly stuff. And worst neighbor story you can think of. And I've had a couple of kind of crazy neighbors before. I guess Danny was probably my worst neighbor, but he was a colorful character, you know. I was in my early 20s. I bought a condo that I lived in for many years. And it was a condo in a kind of condo development that was 3 units to a building. And there was a downstairs unit, a downstairs and upstairs unit, and an upstairs unit. It was a very weird building, right? There were 3 different types. You know, the upstairs units were over the garage. I had the upstairs downstairs, so I had a tiny little living room and kitchen, and then stairs up. And anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to set the scene visually. Danny lived in the downstairs apartment, and Danny, you know, I was in my 20s and stuff. I partied a lot, so Danny would wander over and drink beer with us and smoke pot with us if we had any of it. And to be honest with you, at the beginning, it wasn't even really that annoying because he was kind of a funny dude. Danny was like kind of a cholo, like you know, kind of Mexican American stereotype kind of guy almost, you know. He was a short guy, kind of tubby, not fat, but you know, chunky, bald with the goatee, tattoos. You know what I mean? And he would come over and drink with us and stuff, and it was actually kind of cool. One day, dude, I will never forget this shit. One day, Danny just stopped showing up. Now, Danny had a whole family that lived in that unit. He had a daughter and a wife that lived in that unit. But they never really talked to us. I never interacted with them. But all of a sudden, Danny just stopped showing up. It's like months later. It's like 6 months later, I get this knock on my door out of nowhere. I'm like, what? I go and answer it. It's Danny. And Danny's like, he's like, hey, man, what's going on? I was like, Danny, I thought you moved out or some shit, man. I haven't seen you. And he's like, oh, no, man, I did a bid. Which means, you know, I went up to prison. I was like, oh, shit. It's like, yeah, man, I just got out. My release papers, right? He's got like a folded paper. My release papers. And he's shaking it, and something falls out of his release papers. And I hear it hit the ground like, so, you know, naturally I look. I love you, baby. Be careful, okay? It's a bag of rocks. I was like, Danny, you can't, like, you're gonna go right, like, in your release papers? And you just went up and did a bid 6 months? What's 6 back to add to it? What happened? No audio? Okay, yeah, it was the Bluetooth. Amelia went and got in the car, and my shit connected to the car Bluetooth. She was probably had to listen to my stupid ravings while she was figuring it out. Anyway, where did I cut off? I don't know how long that was going on. Danny had crack, right? So I passed that story along to the guys that drank with us. You know what I mean? Or the guys that partied at my place. It was just a funny thing. Danny started coming around again now that he was out. But he started coming around more. Like back in the day, it was, you know, like 20% chance of a Danny sighting. It jumped up to like a 90% chance. If he heard a couple of people over at my pad, he was going to be there. You know what I mean? He was a moocher. Like he never showed up with any weed. He never showed up with any beer, right? And so it all kind of came to a head one night when you know, I had a couple of dudes over. It was not even a party, bro. It was literally, we were sitting around playing video games, smoking a doobie. You know what I mean? It was not what I would call a party. Just chilling. It was like me, one of my roommates, and maybe one friend was over, right? And we were just chilling. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, fuck. Jump up to see who it is. It's Danny standing there looking all disheveled and shit, sweaty. It's like, man, can I come in real quick? I'm like, all right. So he pops in, sits down on my couch, right? Just like puts his head in his hands. And I'm like, what's going on, bud? And he's like, man, I hate to do this to you. And I was like, oh, here it comes, bro. Here it comes. Hate to do this to you, man, but I need like $50 right now or my fucking dealer's gonna smoke me, bro. My dealer's gonna smoke me. And I was like, Danny, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Don't come over here anymore, man. This is just whack shit. I said, no dealer is gonna smoke you over $50, bro. I'm not buying it. Go on, man. Get clean up and get your fucking ass out of here. Don't come over here no more. Don't darken my doorstep no more. Oh, come on, man, please, dude. I'm do $50. Just like he was just fiending. Like it's clear he was just fiending. Needed $50 to go get a fucking rock. And he thought I was gonna be his fucking ATM that night. Because he came and mooched off of me a few times. It's like, nah, dude. I know which way the wind is blowing, bro. I'm not a retarded white boy that thinks a dealer is going to smoke you over $50, bro. Dealers don't usually give crack on credit. So the story don't make no sense anyway. You know what I mean? Stupid ass Danny. But yeah, that was a pretty whack neighbor interaction. Trying to think if I ever had any other neighbors that were just like, see, I really just keep to myself, bro. You have to be you have to try really hard to be offended by me as a neighbor, unless me ranting and raving on the back porch offends you. But like, as far as me interacting or doing it, like, I just keep to myself, bro. Gangsters that hit on your ex. Well, yeah, but see, that was a bad neighbor interaction that turned good real quick. You know what I mean? And so like, it wasn't. I don't really catalog that because it's like, yeah, there was a. So this same apartment that I lived in, it was in a not that nice kind of like neighborhood. You might say the hood, right? And there were very few white people on the block. It was mostly Hispanic and black folks on the block, and I owned in that neighborhood, right? And so, you know, like I said, I very much keep to myself. I'm a mind your own business kind of neighbor. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to fucking, um, involve myself in my neighbors' lives or, like, it's just not my thing, right? Um, and I was dating uh, a chick that would go on to be, I married her down the line, but we were dating. We just started dating, and she would come over to my pad. And when she pulled up right across the street from me, I lived right kind of like on a corner, and right kitty corner from me was a house that always had a bunch of young black dudes hanging out in front of it. They never gave me no shit. I used to wave at them when I left, and they would, wave back at me and shit. But she came in one day, and she's looking all flustered, and I'm like, "What happened?" She's like, "That fucking guy over there." I was like, "I across the street, they just fucking catcalled me, basically." I was like, "What? They did what now?" So I had introduced myself to these guys, right? And I knew the dude that owned the house over there. His name was Bobby, and he and I were pretty chill, like not like best friends or nothing, but I would always say what's up to him. He knew that I was not a fucking troublemaking piece of shit. I didn't care, right? I was on my own shit. He was on his own shit. We had that mutual respect thing going on. And so I fucking walked over there, knocked on the door, asked to talk to Bobby. I brought Bobby out. "Oh, what's up, man?" And I just told him what happened. I was like, "Hey, man, my girl came, and she said last couple of times she showed up, a couple of the dudes that are hanging out in front are saying some shit to her." And he immediately got this look on his face like, "They did what?" I was like, "Yeah." She said they were like saying some shit to her, disrespectful shit. And he's like, "Hold up." Went back in the house, came back in like less than a minute and said, "Won't happen again." And I said, "Thanks." Appreciate it. He's like, "Sorry about that, man." I was like, "All right, no worries." You know what I mean? So, ugh. Young isn't like teenagers. Yeah, like teenagers slash young, like maybe early 20s, like college age through high school age dudes. Speaking of neighbors, Paul, when you were in your childhood friend John's backyard looking for aliens, your stuff moved when you slept. I am the alien that moved it. I fled on the water. You sick fuck. Leave me alone. I would still see him around and stuff. He didn't kill him or nothing, but he probably told him like, don't be fucking retards. Like, I don't know 100% for certain if Bobby or the people around him or whatever were involved in hood shit. I kind of presumed maybe they were. None of my motherfucking business. And having a neighbor like that, you know what I mean? You don't want to upset the fucking apple cart. Ass whooping. I don't even know if it came to that, bro. It was probably just a like, you shut your fucking mouth. Cause problems for me in this neighborhood. You know what I mean? He probably just gave him that ultimatum. You know what I mean? No, I used to see him. He didn't kill him or nothing. He didn't exile them or anything. Wasn't that big of a fucking deal because I didn't make that big of a deal. I went straight up man to man. So like next time ass whooping, yeah, maybe. I don't want to speak for Bobby. You know what I mean? I don't know what he said to him. But it never did happen again. There was never anything but polite interactions from then on out, you know. Are they his sons? I didn't get that impression. He didn't seem to be too much older than some of them. You know what I mean? Like Bobby was a younger dude. I think. You know, they were probably friends of his, associates. I don't know what the fuck, dude. Cousins. I don't like the idea of a man standing over. Well, like, look, dude, I owned a place there. My girl's got to be able to come and go. There's no need to go into a murderous rage. I don't presume everybody in the neighborhood knows what's what with my girl, but I would like my girl to be able to come and go from my pad without fucking feeling some type of way about it. You know what I mean? And so I'm never going to jump directly to like, let's fight about it. You know, a lot of people respect just being honest. It's like, you know, I'm not going to catcall your girl when I see her coming and going, that sort of idea. You know what I mean? It hits with people. But I had to stay home from work with a stomach virus. Hey, man, that stomach virus is going to help you out tonight, bro. You're going to get a different kind of virus tonight. Yep. Virus on virus action. You're so boss, Paul. Oh, thanks calling me a boss. No, I'm not. I'm really not. It's just like certain types of things, you just got to handle things, you know what I mean? And it's not even about, like, I didn't go over there hoping to get in a punch up or nothing. I would have lost that. But I think people on the whole are reasonable, especially people that are living cheek by jowl, you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of got to keep things copacetic in your neighborhood if you want to have a chill place to live and exist and do whatever it is you're doing, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Well, hopefully Kale can handle some dirty words and oh, he's old enough now. Kale knows what's what. But maybe he can help you interpret the brain rot, you know what I mean? Maybe he can give you context to some of the rot. I feel like it's gonna be a wild experience one way or the other. Former friend went to a neighbor's house after they deliberately ignored texts. I caught him when I was taking the bin out and said hello. He ignored me. Can't think of anything I did to this day. Yeah, I mean, I guess like some people just don't want that social interaction at all. They don't want to know you. I mean, typically you don't have run-ins with people like that, but when you do, it can be a little jarring. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like, force the issue. I'm fine not knowing you. When is the brain rot gauntlet happening? Tonight, like in an hour. We go live on the public side for the first hour in 1 hour. Done. Done so. Predicting it'll be the worst gauntlet for you and the boys. I don't think so. I think people are fucking leaning a little heavily on it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be just absolutely awful. That's a possibility. I won't lie about it being a possibility. I mean, we'll sprinkle some brain rot in there, but the first hour is typically like a little teaser wind up kind of thing. But yeah, you'll see a little brain rot. You'll get a little taste. What's the structure for the episode? Brrr, skibbity bop bop bop, yes yes. Skibbity bop bop weep weep. Skibbity bop 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 bop. Skibbity dibbity hibbity. Pretty much that. Amelia just left to get the dew dippables. She's on her way now to pick up the dew dippables. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The dew dippables. I don't think it's going to help, but maybe it will. Brain rot is a general term, so really you guys could watch a wide array of stuff. It's not quite as bad as it seems. It's not specific like yeah. Well, there's going to be all kinds of different brain rot. So, yeah. Oh, they shot you up with the Ozempic, dude. Oh no. You've been Ozempic'd, bro. Yeah, I never did the Ozempic. Well, not yet. They haven't jabbed me with it yet, but whatever. If a doctor tells me I gotta be on it and it gets through my fucking insurance, I guess I'll do me some Ozempic, but I don't know, man. I mean, a couple of the little moments made me laugh. There was one where somebody did a whole rap beat where the bass was farts, and that had me giggling like a bowl full of Jello. You know what I mean? Thoughts on the Epstein Rickroll? I mean, such a dude. Go watch yesterday's stream. Tell me I didn't call it. Dude, tell me Paul doesn't call it. Everybody was talking about Epstein shit dropping today, and I said straight up last stream, it's going to be redacted to the point of absurdity, and it's going to be nothing new. Boom, boom. There's no way they're releasing that shit, bro. I thought you were strongly opposed to Ozempic. I was tired of, because I had one doctor, right? This was back, when I lived where I lived previously. I had one doctor that was like, you want to try Ozempic? And this was early on when the people first started getting it. And I was like, I'll try whatever you tell me I should. And they tried to clear it through my insurance. The insurance said, he's not diabetic, so no. I don't know if that's changed, but it went on for like every time I would go see this doctor, and I was on, doing regular checkups, regular tests, this doctor would act like they had never offered me Ozempic and say, would you like maybe to try Ozempic? And I would go like, actually, you guys have tried Ozempic a few times and the insurance rejects it. And they would get this consternation on their face, and they would go, that doesn't make sense. It's pretty much the standard of care. Let me go ahead and resubmit that. And I'd go like, okay, but they rejected it. They shouldn't have. I think it was an oversight. We'll get you on that. I was like, okay. So they would send it in. The insurance would reject it. And so it just went on and on and on, back and forth for like 6 months. And I finally talked to the doctor. And I said, please, my insurance isn't going to cover it. And I just don't want to be asked about it, because you just put it in my chart that I don't want Ozempic. Like, okay. And the next time I came in, they asked me about Ozempic. And I was like, I can't. So it's clear to me that, like, in that case, there were kickbacks, probably. Somebody was getting to pocket some money per prescription of Ozempic, right? Which is pretty common in the medical field. And I just got fucking fed up with the doctor talking about it. I have been losing weight at what's considered to be a really healthy clip for about a year now. Every time I go to the doctor, they're happy with, I've lost a little weight. My numbers look good. I don't feel like I need to be on Ozempic, right? And I definitely don't want my doctor interaction to be over and over and over again about Ozempic. Like, for example, since I moved here, I've been to the doctor twice, just for regular doctor visit shit, right? My new doctor hasn't even asked me about Ozempic. I don't even think the fucking topic came up. So it's like, even Laura Loomer called them out on it. Things are insane. Well, there was no way they were doing that. It's just like the fucking Kennedy shit. Like, there's gonna be no new information. It's gonna be heavily redacted. It's bullshit. It's just a stunt. It's just a stunt. If they released the unredacted Epstein report, where nothing but victims' names is redacted, because that's the only thing I think should be redacted from this, would be victims' names. Anybody else involved in this, unredacted all. If they did that, it would blow up half the fucking world overnight. You know how many heads of state, governors, heads of big companies would be implicated in child prostitution, including the sitting president and most of his cronies? Elon Musk. You're telling me they're going to release that? Royals, British royals, Middle Eastern royalty, heads of state, governors, senators, parliament members, huge corporate CEOs and business people, hedge fund managers. It would be open season. Former presidents, yeah. Current sitting presidents. So, what was your initial reaction to Epstein's death? The same as it is now. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Let me just poll the audience real quick, and I'm not going to set up a poll. When you heard that Epstein managed to kill himself in a maximum security federal prison, did you for 1 second believe that he committed suicide? Did it even enter your mind like, that guy committed suicide? No. So I think we all know that he didn't. So think about the amount of power that you have to murder somebody in the middle of a federal prison institution that's got cameras everywhere. It goes all the way to the tip top. He was killed by the tip top. Getting rid of him, because the chance of him going to trial and naming names, like I said, it would blow up the fucking planet. I don't know that it was Trump that put a hit on him. It's definitely not just Trump that has worries about the Epstein files being unredacted and released. What was the excuse for the camera footage again? That the camera system was malfunctioning and that the guard was inattentive. So your chances of getting anything that you don't already know out of the Epstein files is 0. What happened to the guards? Where are they now? These people should be public figures. These people should have been like pretty much forced to do media tours and explain like what the fuck happened. But nobody even knows the names of these alleged guards that were asleep at the wheel the night Epstein managed to allegedly strangle himself to death while on baby watch in a cell with a camera on it. If you're live now, how did I get a notification for an Onion Nuggets premiere? What? You know you schedule those things, right? You know those things are scheduled. Yep, peace out there, Ashley. Anyway, I think I'm done. I'm gonna go get myself ready to go. See you in the brain rot.